making this card. I'm not going to actually show you how to do the box because that was simple, and there's lots and lots of ways of doing boxes anyway, and all I've done really is just made a basic box, some gold foiling on there, and then just done a couple of stamps in the corners and coloured them in. So this is a star book, or a star card even, I don't know, to me it is like a book, so whichever you decide you want it to be. I actually recently did one of these on the craft along with, I think it was Jan Brown on the Crafters TV. I have done these in the past many moons ago, but it just inspired me to do some more, so some nice Christmassy ones. So this is what we've done. This is for my neighbour. She's asked me would I do a card for her granddaughter, and this is what I came up with. So obviously her name is Sophie, and these are the pages we're going to be doing. So we've used a lot of Crafters Companions towards the night before Christmas. I'll show you the papers anyway, what we're going to be using. And yeah, this is what we're going to be making today, guys. What we're going to be making, so stay tuned if you're interested in how to do, wanting to know how to do it. This actually does turn into a star, by the way. You just got to tie those up. I know my camera won't like really give me that angle, but you'll get the gist. There is a star there, and I'll talk you through it all anyway, so yeah, keep watching. Right, for the card I'm making, I'm actually using pre-made cards that I'd already had in my stash. I think I got these from the craft label, and these are 15 centimetres by 30, but obviously folded over will make a 15 by 15 card, which I think is 6 inches square. I'm not sure, not too good with measurements, but that's definitely what that is. And then I've took a selection of different cards from glitter to mirror, and these are then cut 29 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So I've got some lovely pattern papers which I have then cut down to 28 centimetres by 13 centimetres, and these papers are from a pad I got from the craft label, and it's called the 12 Days of Christmas. So these are the papers I'll be using today. Some are double-sided and some are not, but these was a bargain price. I think it was £6 for the whole pad, so bargain. Concentrate on the pad, the plain cardstock. Of course you can use whatever colour cardstock you want. I've just used this because, like I say, it was in my stash. And all we want to do is fold these in half. I do tend to use my scoreboard actually usually to just give me that button up, so that this really does help keep it more level, because this is an important one to keep level, this card. We're then going to go on to the mirror card, or whatever coloured card you're going on to next, this second largest, and then we're going to score this at 14 centimetres. And then we're going to take our bone folder, and then we're just going to fold that over the same as the other card. Then we're going to take your pattern papers and fold these in half and scoring, and my scoring will be at 13 centimetres. Now you should have 3 piles of 5 of each of the cardstock you've chosen, and then the next thing to do is ignore your base card layer. I'm not going to do this on camera just because for time's sake, and basically all you want to do is put a tape running from this end and this end, so that both opened ends at the back, and you want to do that on the patterned paper and your mirror card, or what card you've chosen. I will do one, but the rest you don't need to see me to do that because it's self-explanatory. I'm using some double-sided tape I got from Hobbycraft. I would normally actually use red liner tape for this one, just because it being a kinetic card, it will get much use and love. Well, that's what we're hoping anyway. So that would actually give a more sturdier build, but because I haven't got any, I am using the double-sided tape. Then I'm going to use a Collal all-purpose glue, which is fantastic. I will link this. I get this from Crafter's Companion, and this is fab. So if you get any runnage on your cardstock, it just rubs away. It sets like cement. It's amazing stuff. So I will be like using double adhesive if you like. So that's all you're going to do on all of the cards, and then once all of the adhesive is down, you just want to rub over the double-sided tape, whether you're using the red liner or just cheaper stuff like me, just to burnish that in. And once I've done all that, I'll come back to you. I'll put the double-sided tape on the coloured cardstock, and now we're going to move back on to your base card layers. Now, because this is going to be like a vintage style card, I want to actually just edge all the edgings of the card inside and out and down the spine, and I'm going to be using the distressed aged mahogany to do this. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, just to cover the edges really, so we're getting rid of that stark whiteness. You can see I'm not really going mad and not like taking time doing it. I just want that edge covered up. I've edged all the cards, but I've realised here on the spine there is a slight whiteness that's still sticking through. So I'm just going to take my ink pad and just go over it a couple of times, and hopefully that will eradicate that white on the spine. And I feel like it does. I'm not that fussed about the inside because you're not really going to notice it there anyway. Now on to actually putting the card together. We're going to put the card together now, and the next pieces you need is your card, one card base and one of your chosen mirror card, stroke, glitter card, whatever. I'm not going to keep going over that, so just, you know, when I say mirror card, I mean the next piece on. You just want to take off the piece of double-sided tape just on one side of the card to begin with, and then I'm just going to go over, like I say, with a little bit of Collal. Not going to go too crazy, just a little bit. Just want to put a bit up there where I've missed up with the double-sided tape. And then you can either butt this up to right to the edge of the card, or you can leave a gap. I like to leave a bit of a gap, and then you want to try and get it, sorry, out of focus there, out of frame, sorry. You want to try and get the gap even either side of here. So I'm only going to concentrate on this one side to begin with, and because we have got that Collal, it gives us that little bit of playroom as well. And I'm quite happy with the gaps I have there. And I just want to push that down, finish it with your finger, and that's it. And then we're going to do the same but on this side. Just removing that tape. Put a little bit of adhesive down if you're not using red liner, although I do like to use glue even with red liner if I'm using something like this to give me that manoeuvrability. And again, we're just going to bring this card up, and we're going to try and get the same distance all around the card. And I'm quite happy with that, so then we can push it down. Now, as you can see, there is a gap here, and this is what you want. And the further, if I'd have put this gold mirror card out to the edges, that gap would have been more. Or if you still want that gap, but the gap around the edges, but a bigger gap here, all you need to do is actually make this mirror card even smaller so that it's stretched out. But obviously you can only stretch it so far, so do trial and error on them. So then we're just going to repeat this on all 5 of the cards. So we've done all 5 of these cards now, as you can see, and we've not glued them together or anything, but you can kind of see where the star is coming along. Now we've got the pattern papers layers to go on. This is going to be my last layer. To go on this, you can do multitude of layers of this. The more layers you've got, the more fantastic it looks, but I'm just doing a 3-layered star card because obviously it does take a lot of cardstock to do this card. So these are all done. Now on to the pattern papers, my last layer, as I say. I'm not going to attach these on until I've decorated them because I feel like that makes my life that little bit easier. Plus with this particular card, I've got a couple of ideas I wanted to trial out. One of them being these dies from Creative Expressions. I actually wanted to just put that in the centre, run that through my Gemini, and then that's going to give me the aperture, but leaving, hopefully you'll see the mirror card or satin card, whatever, in the foreground, so you'll see that. And then I have actually made these like toppers, like stamped them all up, and I'm going to put them all on different ones. So I'm going to attach these all beforehand, but I'm not going to actually do this on camera just because you don't need to see that, but once I've completed it I will show it you. Once I've attached all the products onto these, then I will attach them to this and then we'll go from there. Once you've got all these middle pieces decorated up, then you're going to attach these the same way as you did the foiling. You need to make a decision if you want the foiling all around or if you actually want to put this right to the edge. So if it's right to the edge, you're going to get a more of a gap in the middle, but if you push it in slightly, you're going to get that. So it's entirely up to you which way you actually want to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach all my pieces. Now I'm actually going to be using tacky glue because I'm putting it on top of mirror card and glitter card. If I use the collal, it will not stick as well, and it can actually peel off the mirror sometimes, so it's always best and safer to go with a tacky glue. I've got everything all stuck in, and the next thing to do is if you actually have got an order you want to put your cards in, now is probably the best time to do it if you've not done it already. So I've just numbered mine in the order I actually want to glue these all together. And then all we need to do now is put double-sided tape all around these both sides and glue them down, and I'll be with you in a sec. Now we've got them all taped up, we're going to start to glue them together. I am going back to the collal glue now though. Before I stick it, I'm just making sure my pictures are the same way round. And then I'm just going to butt the spines up together like so, and then manipulate it into place. Get rid of any excess glue if you can. I ain't rushing this bit just because I want it nice and straight. And close it up and we can squeeze that spine together and take my bone folder and go over it. Make it nice and smooth. And then you're going to keep repeating those steps until all the pages are done. Put all that glued together, the next thing to do is we need to do a front cover and a back cover for this card. Bearing in mind, what you ever put on the front and the back you will not see once the card is open. I've just used the same papers again. I've just gone with the green and a red in this one because I've gone with the mirror card. I've gone green, gold, red, green, gold, red. This was actually the other side of the, what they called, candy canes. So yeah, so the sizes of these is, I think this one is 13.5 square and then this one was 12.5 square. But of course you could be making these books at completely different sizes to me. So you just go with whatever you feel fit to do. But the first thing you need to do actually before you put these mats and layers on is to get some ribbon. I'm going to be using this twine from the Twas the Night Before Christmas from Crafter's Companion, and you need to put this in because you're going to be hiding it behind the mat and layers cardstock. So let's get that done. I've chosen to use 2 bits of the twine just because it's very thin anyway and I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more substantial, but the ribbon I'd used on my other one I made was a bit too stiff and I haven't really got any other gold ribbon really, so that's why I've decided to go with this one. And I'm trying to keep it, the twines quite central to where it's going to be wrapped up, so like trying to keep it in the middle of this card here. And I'm going to turn over and we're just going to add the twine again on the other side. Trim them ends off. And do the same here, we don't want it bulking up. So I'm just going to put the green layer on first. I've done that, I'm just going to do the same on the back. I'm not going to video that. I'm going to decorate mine up and then I'll be back with you to show you what I did. Yeah, so this is the front and all I've used on the front is just some dies and I'd used my Cricut to do the name. The embossing folder is from the Twas the Night Before Christmas collection and I've just coloured that up with some inks and some gilding foily stuff. I can't even remember which brand it was I used, to be honest. I finally actually found something I struggled with my nails. I've not struggled doing crafts with my nails at all until this twine, trying to fasten the bow in this twine. Whether it's because I double layered it, I don't know, but I did struggle with it. So I guess I'm going to struggle with it when I put it together and again in a minute, so I'll probably have to do that off camera. And it isn't the best bow in the world because of my nails, but I'll get someone else to fasten that up for me. So I'll just undo this and then I'll show you each page as we go along. So this is the first page we've done and we've used the stamps from Twas the Night Before Christmas. These present stamps was from the Gnome collection from Crafter's Companion. This was from the Twas the Night Before Christmas, and this was a die from Tim Holtz. And then on this page, we used that die which I said I was going to do, cut it out. It didn't quite work out as well as I'd expected, but hey ho, we live and learn. I've ended up colouring it up in green because obviously it was just, you couldn't really see it. And then I put some sparkle pen of the Crafter's Companion, I don't know what they call it, it's a sparkle brush pen I think it is. And then I've just cut out this die here just to frame it a bit better. And then I've done this bird. I can't remember where I got this bird from. I think it may have been Amazon, I don't know, but I've just coloured that up with my Spectrum Noir pens, matted it onto some gold card and fussy cutted it, and then I put some little fake snows, some Nouveau drops, glitter drops on there for the berries. And this card, the centre of the card, or it's not really a centre, but to me it's the centre, is these baubles from Woodware, and you basically can get a die which cuts out all of these little circles, and all I've done with these circles is cut out the papers, the backing papers here, that's what I've cut out. I did think, because it's the first time I'd actually used these, I did think that the circle die did all of the circles, but it actually doesn't, and that's why I've ended up using Nouveau drops in all different colours in the smaller ones, and then just some gold glitter stickles in the really tiny ones. And then I've just coloured the ribbons again with the Spectrum Noir. I've added a bit of glitter, that glitter brush on there very carefully, because obviously water and alcohol products don't go. Hopefully the camera can pick that up, because it does look really pretty in person. I feel like this is probably my favourite page, to be honest, even though the baubles are slightly lost with the writing. I feel like a lot of this is lost, but you live and learn. It's not the easiest thing to do. Maybe I should just add the backing papers, the pattern papers at the back, and then the plain papers at the front. I feel like that probably would have worked better, but like I say, I live and learn, don't we? So then we're on to the Nutcracker page, and the first page I've just done a sentiment which was from a vintage sentiment collection I got from Craft Stash a few months back, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. And I've triple embossed this actually with clear embossing powder, and I think I'd used the gold ink pad from Spectrum Noir. And I've just die cutted the circle, and I die cutted a gold doily behind it. And then we've got the more stamps from the Twas the Night Before Christmas. It gives real good feeling, this. I feel like this is like how I remember Christmas. Obviously I wasn't born in this era, but this is the magic of Christmas to me when I was a kid. So, and when my children was little, although my lad was never really that into it. So yeah, I really like this picture and these stamps together. And again, I've just covered them up with Spectrum Noir, and then I used the glitter brush on the Santa, and then some stickles in for the stars. Oh, and I actually put some glossy accents on the windows as well. Then we're on to the last page. This page really did my nutting because the die moved. I wanted it in the centre and the die moved, and I didn't have enough paper to do another one of these, so that really upset me. So I had to do it, and hopefully it doesn't look too bad. I did put this little bow on, that was from the Twas the Night Before Christmas. It couldn't really go in the centre. And yeah, and then I've used this stamp, gosh, I can't think what this stamp was from now. I really can't, I'm sorry. If I can find it, I'll let you know, but it basically is the saying. I know it is on one of my hauls when I bought it, so hopefully I can find out where it was. And then we used the Christmas tree from the Twas the Night Before Christmas again, and I've just put some glossy accents over the baubles, and then some coloured these in. I put the glitter on them, and then I put some gold on the star there. And then this is the back of the card, and this is where she can put a sentiment. And I've just used a stamp I'd got from Amazon a long time ago. And then these are Tim Holtz dies. So then what you do is, she says, when you want it to put it up, is you're going to fasten this. I don't think I'm going to bother fastening it because I'm just going to struggle with that, guys, I'm not going to lie. And then this gives you your start. I'm just going to zoom out. I know you're probably going to see more of my desk than you need to. But yeah, and that gives you the start. And this is what I was saying, if it had butted these pages up right to the end, these would have been a much bigger gap. So in a way I wish I had have done that now, but like I say, we live and learn, don't we? So, but I still enjoyed doing this book, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. So I'd really appreciate it if you could comment and subscribe, or just give me any feedback of what you're feeling about my channels. I am new to doing this channel, so yeah, shall see you in the next video. Bye.